In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a 100% Amapiano beat in our studio. What's up? My name is 7beats, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a chill Amapiano beat in our studio. I've also just released my new African producer bundle. The link will be in the description, and this is a perfect kit for both creating Amapiano and Afrobeats. And I've also just released a new free pack, which is called the African Sound Selection. The link will also be in the description, and it contains over 300 samples. So it would be great if you check it out. So let's get started with the tutorial. So I've created this beat on 113 BPM, which is BPM which you often pick when you're creating Amapiano beats. And then we're first starting off with some basic percussion loops. So some shaker loops and some percussion loops to make sure you fill up the whole frequency spectrum. So it sounds like a full loop. And this is the easiest way how to start creating an Amapiano beat. So in the African producer bundle, I've added 60 shaker loops. I was starting off with shaker 15. So this is a shaker loop which is already layered with a tambourine, very easy to use. Then we're going to add the second layer. So this is another shaker loop. So this contains some reverb and just add some more high frequencies. Then we're using this drum loop, which is a very typical minimal house drum loop from, I think, a Vengeance pack. So this way it's very easy to start creating your Amapiano beat. And then last but not least, we're adding another drum loop. And last but not least, we're adding this head loop. So this is our starting point, and this makes it way easier to create a full beat. So the next step is to add the individual percussions and drums. So we're going to use the drums from the African drum kit. So first we're starting off with a kick, and we're double timing this kick. Very soft kick. So it's also in the background, so make sure it isn't playing a very distorted kick, a loud kick. It just has to be a subtle element. Then we're adding the clap, and we're making sure the clap is not playing at the same level all the time. So this is also an addition to the loop which we've already added. Then we're adding this hi-hat, which also adds some more high frequencies. Then we're adding metal 1, this sound, which is a kind of a bell, or playing a very unique rhythm, and we're also pitching down one note, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So I've disabled some of the previously added drum loops, just to make sure you can hear this better. Just to add some more high frequencies, and this always works out very well in the end. So now we've added a lot of high frequencies, and now we want to add some more groove. So we want to make sure we add some percussions which contain low and mid frequencies. So we're starting off with this percussion. And I've added some reverb to this percussion just to add some ambience room to the sample. And then I'm making sure I add a little bit of attack in this envelope, so around 5%, to remove that ticking sound of the beginning of the sample. So it sounds softer. And I've also pitched this sample, so make sure you play around with the pitch until it sounds perfect. Very simple rhythm. Then we're adding this thumb, also with some reverb. A very unique element, but most of the cases you're not adding elements at the first kick. So this is a very easy way to also make sure it sounds full and like a full drum loop. Then we're adding this kind of detail right here. Just another tiny detail, which in the end will make it just a little bit more interesting. Then I'm adding a tone which contains a lot of low frequencies. This one. Adds a lot of groove. As you can hear, it already sounds like a full loop, but still it's missing an element which adds more rhythm. And a perfect element which is also very easy to add and mix is a wooden percussion sound. So I've added this wood block percussion, pitches from C5 to C6. Let's have a listen. And I've also played around with the velocity to add more rhythm, so it's not playing like a flat sound, so otherwise it would sound like this. Doesn't sound very good. So you want to make sure it adds a lot of rhythm and it fits the groove of the already added drums. So that's it when it comes to all the drums. And right now we're going to add the melodies. But before I'm going to add the melodies, I just want to talk about my new producer business formula. The producer business formula is a course that will teach you everything about how to run a business in the music industry. So if you're a producer and you're making beats right now, I'm going to teach you everything about how to make money as a producer. When it comes to selling your samples, when it comes to selling beats, how to sell those things. So we're basically going to build the foundations and later turn your vision into reality. So I'm going to help you through all these steps. So there are 3 hours of video lessons, over 75 pages when it comes to details about how to sell things, which you can easily read yourself. You will get access to a VIP group where you can share your problems or help other people. So if you're interested, make sure to check it out. The link is in the description. And besides that, I've also launched a producer mentorship one-on-one session. So if you want me as a personal guide, make sure to check it out. The link will also be in the description. But right now, let's continue with the tutorial. So right now we're going to add the melodies and we're going to start off with a simple pad. So I've used the Zebra from Yuhi and I'm using this Rock Bounce preset. We're going to create this beat in G sharp minor. So if you don't know how to pick the scale, view scale highlighting G sharp in minor natural. And starting off with a pad is very, very simple. So I would recommend you start off with the root note, which is G. So just add this note right here. So right now it sounds like this. But it's very easy to add another note just to make it more interesting and add a more dark vibe to this melody. So you simply count the notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm adding this C. So 5 notes up from the root note. Very easy rule. So as you can see, it's very easy to start off with a pad. But right now, let's add some keys. And this could get a little bit more difficult. So a very simple plugin, Addictive Keys from Excellent Audio. And we're using the Mark 1 Warm Tines preset. So again, let's start off with the root note G. So a very easy loop. This E could sound a little bit off because it sounds very dark, but we're going to fix this adding more notes. So adding this note right here, we're going to create a very jazzy, soulful melody. Let's say G, A, C. Then we're going to create something very similar to this one. That sounds perfect. So right now we're going to transition to the next part, this C. Very, very easy. Then we're simply going to create another chord. This one, we copy this over. It's going to go up like this and we're adjusting this one. So let's have a listen. That's it. That sounds perfect. So right now we're going to make some tweaks to the chord progression and I'm using this all the time. So first I'm randomizing this one. So let's say we'll make it a little bit softer by turning down the velocity. And then we add a strumizer to make sure the keys aren't played at the same time. Makes it just a little bit more humanic, playing around, something like this. So let's have a listen to the final result. So that sounds really, really cool and I'm really satisfied with the result. So now let's disable the keys and let's add another element. So I found another acid ARP, the acid nature from the N at 2, at G right here, G6. So that's it, very easy. And this is again a easy element which you later on can use to make the arrangement interesting. Then I'm using the Jub 8V and I'm using this preset, which is a simple pad. This one, and we're basically copying over the root note so it's played together with the chord progression. Very simple layer. And right now we're going to add a layer which is crucial when it comes to when the large drum is coming in. So I always love to use those elements to a beat like this. So I'm using the CZV from Arturia. I'm using the drum preset. Sounds like a really harsh saw synth. And then we simply also start off at G to make it simple. And I'm going to create something like like that. So we're starting off right here. And as you can see, those white highlighted notes right here are near each other. So this way it's very easy if you follow this progression to create a melody like this. We have this G, we skip one because it's done the scale, A, B. As you can hear, very simple, and simply select it, Ctrl C, Ctrl B, we copy it over, that's it. A layer which is often used when it comes to making Amapiano. So right now, let's add elements which contain more low frequencies. So first we're starting off with a bass. So I'm using this bass block, which is a stock preset from the Fruity D Extend, which is right here. And we're using the root notes. So let's start off with something like this. And then we're pitching it down so it contains enough low frequencies. Very easy, just following the root notes from the chord progression. So right now it's time to add the fun element, which is the log drum. So I'm using the Fruity D Extend. I'm using log drum 8 from the African Producer Bundle. So in the African Producer Bundle, I've added a African log drum kit, which contains log drum MIDIs, presets, and one-shots. So for example, we're using log drum 8 in this case. So I've added 20 log drum presets for the D Extend. But if you're, for example, using Logic, Ableton, or another DAW, except from FL Studio, which you should use, I've also sampled those log drums. All kinds, long, short log drums which contain a lot of low frequencies. As you can hear, a variety of log drums, which are very easy to use. Just create an envelope and play around. But in this case, let's use the Fruity D Extend. So starting up right here, cranking up the volume. That's it. Adding it right here. It's a very simple log drum pattern, which is just following the chord progression. So the root notes, very simple, very easy to use. But right now it's still missing some low frequencies. So right now the next element which we're going to use is this bass. So this is a bass one shot. It's very easy to layer this one with the log drum to add some more low frequencies. So it's really coming through when you're playing it on, for example, a subwoofer. So just copy over this one, paste it right here. Right now it's playing at low key, so pitch it up. So let's have a listen. Oh. That sounds really cool. And I think that's it when it comes to adding the log drum and the bass line. We're going to keep it very simple for this one. And then we're still not done. So right now we're using Over Affected from the Harmor, which is a stock preset. Really cool ARP. And we're again adding this one at the root note. Very simple layer. Now we're adding another preset, which is the Liquid State 1 Goal, which is often used in Amapiano. I'm going to add something like this. So as you can hear, it's really coming together. And then I want to add a typical house layer to the log drum. So we're going to add another layer. So I'm using Harmor again, and I'm using the Bit Wobbly AG preset. And it's just playing the exact same notes as the log drum. That sounds really, really dope. So now we've added all the drums, we've added all the melodies, and now it's time to create the arrangement. So to create this arrangement is basically shortening it up, because otherwise it's getting too long for this tutorial. So I've made some tweaks to the keys and to the log drum, so I'm switching it up a little bit. Let's have a listen to the final result. So first, just 2 shaker loops are playing. Some of the drums, so when you create the arrangement, you do not want to directly play all the drums. You want to wait, you want to create kind of a build up. First up coming in. Liquid gold coming in, uplifter. So we're adding an open head, this loop, and some more drums. So first just a bass plug, leave some room for the artist. Keys coming in. Let's zoom in a little bit. As you can hear, tiny tweak to the keys. Bass plug coming in again, adding some low frequencies. We're adding another drum loop. Pad coming in. Drum roll. Really bouncy. As you can see, we've added the final percussion loop. Adding more and more layers. Now the pad is slowly coming in. Transitioning back to the keys. So that's it, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave it a like and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned for new videos. Make sure to check out the free samples, the link will be in the description. I would highly appreciate it. And without this being said, I hope you have a great day, create some awesome Amapiano beats, and see you in one of my next tutorials.